Good morning, VC. This is Glenn, your low-end music freak. This is a contest entry. Let me get my notes here. Todd Guy, the Thrashing Zombie channel. Thanks for putting on the contest, Todd. It's his first year anniversary, so happy anniversary. There were 5 parts to this contest. Name 1 to 5 bands you didn't know before you got on the VC. Number 2, an album you didn't like the first time you heard it. Number 3, album that gets better with more listens. Number 4, worst cover art of an album. I'd struggle with that one. Number 5, best cover art. So let's get started with 5 bands that I'm going to go like albums I wasn't aware of before I joined the VC. The first one, Funkadelic, Maggot Brain. I'm trying to remember which one of the members showed this album. It might have been Steve Carlson. I bought it because I love the description of it in terms of it being kind of a funky psychedelic album that defines it perfectly. This album was released in 1974 and I had never heard of it. So that's my first one. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Next, 2 more from Steve. Thanks, Steve. You've been my bank manager. Thanks you. Black Market Brass, Undying Thirst. This is a funk album, big band funk, I guess you'd call it. It's like a 9 or 10 piece band here. The percussion on this album is absolutely fantastic. If you're a drummer, you'll love this record. A lot of brass. All the songs are upbeat. Really, really cool album. Black Market Brass. Another one. This came from Steve Carlson as well. I know Mazzy is a big fan of this album and has mentioned it too. And I absolutely frigging love it. It's the best album I bought in the last 5 years. The Third Mind. This is a salute to psychedelic guitar music of the 60s, kind of like Quicksilver, Grateful Dead, Mike Bloomfield when he was in Paul Butterfield. They actually do 3 jammy sessions on East West off of the Butterfield East West album that are incredible. They do a great version of Mountain Dew. Then they do some other songs on here. It's a freaking great, great, great album. The Third Mind. If you like guitars, buy this record. Another one. This one I got from Mazzy. I'm aware of this gentleman because he was in the Byrds, and I love the Byrds. Gene Clark, but I never gave any thought to checking out his solo material. Mazzy spoke really highly of this album. Gene Clark, no other. This is probably the best country rock album ever made. His voice is incredible. The guitar work on this album is incredible. Every song is strong. If you don't have Gene Clark, no other. Highly recommend if you're a country rock fan. This is an amazing album. Okay. I think this is the 5th one. I can't remember the gentleman who turned me on to this album either. I should have took notes. Dadawah, another album from 1964. This is an early reggae album, but again, like psychedelic reggae. It kind of reminds me of, if you're familiar with the first Dr. John album, Walk on Gilded Splinters, it's got exactly that same feel as that song throughout this whole album. The guy's vocals are great. Just a terrific, terrific album. Dadawah, Peace and Love. If you like reggae, then you like kind of voodoo, haunting kind of music, this is definitely for you. Good album. That's question number 1. Question number 2. Which album didn't you like the first time you heard it? Well, I'm going back to a band, not necessarily an album, but I picked one of their albums. Back in the early 70s when this band came out, for some reason my friends and I had a very low opinion of them. We had one friend who really loved them, and we kind of questioned his manhood for enjoying this music. About 10 years ago or something like that, I decided to give them another chance. Um, yes, I know this is Rachel's second favorite band, and you know what? It's become one of my top 5 bands of all time. It's amazing how much I didn't give this band a chance when I was younger, and absolutely love them now. I own their whole catalog. I own live stuff. I just think this is an amazing, amazing band. So anything by Yes, I'm going to say, is an acquired taste. I think if you don't try and listen to it deeply and understand how great the musicianship is and what they're doing in there, and it's just a terrific album. Great band. Okay. Album that gets better with each listen. This is interesting too. Another album I ignored my whole life. I don't know why. Velvet Underground and Nico. I just picked this album up a few weeks ago for the first time. I heard it for the first time, believe it or not, just 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it's acquired taste because when the first listen, I went, nah, there's something there I kind of can see, and I'm not really liking it. I'm a bit uncomfortable listening to it. I've listened to it a couple of times since because I know there's got to be something there, and it's growing on me. I'm starting to appreciate it. So there's an album that took a while. Next, worst album cover art. As an art piece, I guess this isn't the worst cover art, but the album cover has always offended me for some reason, and I am by no means a prude. I'm pretty well open-minded about everything in the world. So, but the original Blind Faith cover with the 13-year-old girl on the cover is just never been my cup of tea. I don't understand why they did it. I like the other cover better that kind of had the yellow framing with the band in it. I'll take that cover anytime. I think this was pretty tasteless at the time and don't really understand what it was all about. But so I'm going to call that the worst album cover of all time. Best album cover. I don't know, there's so many great ones. So I can't say this is the best, but it's freaking great. King Crimson in the Court of the Crimson King. This is unique. I think the cover alone probably sold 1 million records. Not only is it a great album, but that cover is incredible. Just amazing artwork, amazing. For their first album, unbelievable. One of the great album covers of all time. So thank you, Todd, for putting on the contest. I much appreciate it. I know it ends on the 21st, so I'm just getting in under the wire. I wish you luck with your channel and many more anniversaries. And thank you guys very much for watching.